So, we're following on from our previous tutorial where we did darting for someone who's actually got a reasonably thick waist and not too much darting allowance. In this particular example, we're going to be working with measurements for someone who's got a really small waist where we're going to have a maximum amount of dart allowance. And so, just to remind you of the draft, this is our centre front line, this is our side seam, and this is our centre back line. Up here we have the new waistline at an angle. Our hip line and our knee level. And so using very much the same draft but with a different waist measurement, when I measure from the centre front to the side seam, I get 23. When I measure from the side seam to the centre back, I also get 23. You'd expect them to be the same because of the symmetrical nature of this draft. And so together, that's a half waist of 46 on the draft. This is my half waist measurement on the draft. The person who we're making this skirt for has a waist of 74, and so I'm using quite a small waist measurement. This is possibly, maybe a 20-year-old has a waist of this measurement, or someone who has that S shape figure with a very small waist. And so to this body measurement of 74 for the waist, I'm adding 4 centimetres for garment ease, and I get a total of 78, which will be the finished measurement of the waist. Half of 78 is 39. When I take the 39 away from the 46 that we have on the draft, the difference is 7 centimetres. And so in this half waist, I am going to eliminate 7 centimetres of fet with 3 different darts. I'll start with the front. This is very similar to our original draft. We find a position that is 2/3 from the centre front to the side seam. So on 23, that'll be 7.6 from that is 1/3. At this 2/3, 1/3 mark, we square from the waistline down. We square from the waistline down for 8 centimetres. This is the position of the front dart. Going on to the back, and knowing that we have got a lot of darting to get rid of, remembering that our maximum in the front would be 2 centimetres, which would leave 5 for the back. 5 on one dart is far too big, far too sharper intake for one dart. We have to spread it across 2. And so we're going to look for the dart positions for 2 darts on the back. The usual longer, larger one pointing at the seat, and the smaller one in a very similar position as the front, except on the back, and it will also be similar to the front in that it's only 8 centimetres long. So measuring along this back waist, we have 23 centimetres. If I were to mark it as thirds, that's 7.6, 15.2. Considering this will be the bigger dart, I am going to move this small one across by 1 centimetre, just to give the big dart some space. And so, at a right angle to the new slanted waist, put in a centre line for your dart towards the hip. Keep it 6 centimetres away from the hip line. For this second, smaller dart, work at a right angle to the new slanted waistline and mark a line that's 8 centimetres long. And this is the position of the smaller dart. Now the thinking here is that when we have a lot of darting to get out of the back, that we spread it more evenly across the back. We keep a larger amount pointing towards the larger shape, And this small amount here will be pointing towards the rest of the gluteal muscle that comes from the seat up to the high hip, and it will make shape for that on the side back of the skirt. So now all that we need to do is just work out how we're going to distribute 1, 2, 3. We've got 3 positions and we've got 7 centimetres. Keep in mind that we like these to only be a maximum of 2 centimetres each. If we did use our maximum, that would leave 3 centimetres for the back dart. And I think in this case that's a reasonable distribution. Alternatively, you could put 1.5 on the front, 1.5 on the side back, and 4 on the centre back. Again, quite a decent distribution. So I think I will go for 2, 2, 3. And so the dart allowance is marked equally either side of the dart line. And then join to the end of the dart. So if you have a smaller waist, this is the kind of dart distribution that you'll be looking for. As I said, it would be equally acceptable to go 1.5, 1.5 and 4 centimetres. Everybody's slightly different. So in the next section of this video, I will be drafting the strap waistband, and in that conversation we'll be looking at the garment ease that we've built into our skirt and how that relates to a strap waistband. See you soon.